Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Nazrin Veronica and today I'm back with another live, which is crazy. I never thought I'd be doing so many lives. But yeah, I'm just going to get straight into it so that we can all watch these videos together and cringe at the pure degeneracy and sadness that it literally radiates out of the people in it. So the first video I'm going to be reacting to is a whatever podcast video. It's called Christian Woman Got Triggered When Chase Called Her Out. Let's see.
Not sexual.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Why
You
does
get
it? Why?
paper dollar tips like every other stripper.
I
was just gonna ask you something.
Sure.
You're a bikini barista, right?
Yes.
And a hardcore conservative, kind of, or some like you're on.
I'm not hardcore conservative.
You're leaning right.
Yeah.
So, and you don't like work.
No.
So why do you think? And you're a Christian. So how are you a Christian and against sex work, but yet you're in a bikini all day serving food and getting tips?
You don't think that Christians? You don't think that Christians can go to the beach in a bikini? You don't think that Christians
Yeah, but that's still like that's like a lot of sex workers do like bikini barista.
Yeah, because
you're not practicing.
You're not selling their pussy on the side.
You're not like you're not practicing modesty or anything that's in the Bible.
What's your definition of modesty?
Not being in a bikini.
Not being in a bikini.
So you want to let your wife at the beach in a bikini?
I'm not saying that I wouldn't let my wife go to the beach in a bikini.
You make extra tips.
Let's pull up her Instagram. I wouldn't want her working just in a bikini.
Not you don't want the what's wrong with Instagram?
You make extra tips for being in the bikini, and
I'm just a show.
That's so weird. Like, how can you be a Christian and argue that literally serving other men in a bikini is okay? I don't understand that. I understand if you're at the beach and you're literally just swimming and, you know, laying in the sun and your intentions are completely pure and you're just wearing a bikini to try and like get some sun on your skin, because I do believe that's really, really good for you and it's got many benefits. And when you cover your skin in the sun, it doesn't reach as much of the rays, which doesn't give you enough vitamin D. So I understand that, but she literally has a job where she serves, I think, food, they're saying, in a bikini to men. That is crazy. And obviously it's going to evoke some kind of a sexual feeling and some kind of a lust in them, which is, you know, wrong and ungodly. And your body is allowing that to happen, but you're calling yourself a Christian. It's weird.
Shaming sex workers, like you're basically a stripper, so I don't understand why.
Stripper, yeah, because I touch people and I dance on people for money.
Do you have a problem?
Yeah, it's not the same as being a stripper. That was too far, but it's still not godly.
Did you have a man that like cheated on you with a stripper?
No, in fact, I had a really good father that raised me to have morals.
Me too, and he's watching, and he's very proud of me for my accomplishments. I pay his rent. Degree, so thank you very much, babe.
In your notes to us, you said most people don't date. Or did you have something really quick?
It's not quick. You already know.
Hi, Shane.
Can you just give us? Okay, so for you, you said in your pre-show notes to us, most people don't date for marriage anymore. It's extremely hard to find a traditional wife-husband who wants to raise their children under biblical values.
Yeah.
Now, I guess my question for you is, how do you reconcile that statement with the fact that you are a bikini barista and don't appear all that traditional in your social media presence? And that's why I wanted to, if we can, pull up the Instagram, just...
Well, it depends on what you mean by traditional. Nick. Traditional to me means submitting to your husband. Traditional to me means being a good Christian. It means being a good wife.
How can you find one?
But what about modesty?
What do you mean? I am modest.
In the
currently, but Nick, like while you're
my actions, I am a very, very modest person.
My friend told me about.
Sex work is not modest.
I'm not in sex work.
She's not a sex worker, but look,
I would never touch someone for money. I would never do anything gross like that for money. I'm good.
What was your name again?
Savannah.
Savannah. To Brian's point, look, you're a beautiful woman. You're intelligent. I think you're well spoken.
Thank you.
You're welcome. To Brian's point, I haven't seen your social media. It sounds like is there an abundance of bikini pics?
Yes.
Here, we'll pull it up just for.
Okay.
I'm proud of my body. Like,
Scroll
There's
down there.
nothing. The thing is that everybody associates nudity to sexuality, and to me,
Lord have
it's
mercy.
not the same.
We must stay focused.
No, yeah, nudity is not linked. Well, it is linked, but it's not, always a sexual thing. There are ways that you can be nude and pure, but when you're posting it online, it is definitely going to evoke sexual reactions in men, and of course that's sexual. I mean, look, she's literally wearing corsets, fishnets. That is obviously sexual. How can you? That's not nudity. That is like, wearing barely anything, but wearing underwear, which clearly evokes sexual reactions in most men, and you're trying to justify it and say that it's not, and it doesn't do that, but obviously it does. Anybody who sees this can just understand that that's what it's going to do and that's the effect it's going to have. But she is obviously in such denial that she is actually trying to defend it. I can't believe it. I'm actually flabbergasted at that. That's crazy.
Brothers,
and if you're lusting over me, that is your sin.
This I completely disagree with. Hold on one second. Okay, so Brian, what was her statement about finding it difficult to find?
Most people don't date for marriage anymore. It's extremely hard to find a traditional wife husband who wants to raise their children under biblical values.
Okay, so.
Oh my goodness.
So
how do you reconcile that
I'm saying this with all due respect. I genuinely respect you.
Thank you.
As a traditional Christian man who wants a traditional Christian wife, to be quite frank, if I saw your Instagram page, immediately I would write you off as a non-traditional, non-Christian woman. I would assume that you weren't Christian. When I see a woman's Instagram page and I see bikini pictures all over the place, showing off the booty, all that kind of stuff, I'm like, yo, this is the exact opposite of modesty. And I'm not interested in that. And I would argue that you are probably making it much more difficult on yourself to find the kind of man that your heart longs for by living this kind of lifestyle where you're posting these images of yourself. Because I know a lot of traditional Christian dudes, a lot of them, across the board, they want modesty in women, and they would not classify that Instagram page as modest.
Sure, that's fine. I'm not really looking for a husband, though. I was just stating that it is hard. To be fair.
Part of the reason why it's hard is because I think you're making it harder on yourself with the job that you work and also with your Instagram presence.
Okay, sure, that's valid.
And isn't it using sexualization?
But also, why would you use, she was asked to make a statement. Why would she make a statement which is, it's so hard to find a husband who wants to raise children with biblical values if you don't want to find a husband? She obviously did, but she's just pretending that she doesn't because she's realized that she's made a big mistake and she can't go back on it now. So she's trying to defend herself by pretending that wasn't her intention when clearly it was.
You get money?
No, I'm not doing anything sexual at all.
You literally are in a bikini with your ass out getting tips. I know how it works.
She wants
Okay.
to smoke. Well, I just
are you not?
You get tips just like
Can you
strippers
not
get
be
tips.
a bikini, be in a bikini and be
No,
a
I'm not-
Christian? What the fuck?
no.
Azure,
But-
it's Azure, right?
but this
I
is
give
a
you,
question.
I give you
not
credit.
modesty.
You
It's
want the
not
Well,
smoke
it
from
depends on your
everybody.
definition of modesty.
So my definition.
In Europe, it's considered modest,
so
right? Like you go out onto a beach, you're naked. That's
Savannah,
fine.
Savannah.
Sounds like it's
Savannah.
just
Hold on.
That's not when
Savannah,
you're getting tipped.
hold on. Savannah, you're
I'm
saying.
getting tipped to make coffee.
Ladies, please.
With your ass out.
Please
So don't
stop.
shame workers. That's all.
She wants
Not
the smoke.
sex work.
She wants
Holy
the smoke
shit.
from-
It's very.
It's not. I'm not touching
it's a-
anyone for money. You're lusting after me. I'm not doing shit.
Sex work is so much more than just touching people. It isn't, you don't need to touch people in order to say you're a sex worker. There are many sex workers who don't touch people. Obviously, if you are half naked in front of men, serving them drinks, alcohol, they're obviously going to feel some kind of way when they look at your body. It's just a natural reaction. And it is a sexual feeling that they're going to feel. So for you to sit there and defend yourself by saying that you're not a sex worker when obviously you are, because you are actually, evoking a sexual reaction in men, which is the whole point of sex work. And that's how people who do sex work get their money, by evoking sexual reactions from people and making them want to pay them extra or pay them money, which she gets tips for it, obviously. It's crazy. This is really, this is deluded. I'm watching pure delusion right now.
You, Savannah, are eliciting lust from men by dressing this way.
Well, that's the same thing.
No, that's like putting your breasts in a man's face and being like, "Why are you looking at them?"
No, it's not.
Yes,
I would never do that.
You literally do it for a living.
Come
You flaunt
through
your
my
body.
coffee stand.
Hang on,
Like,
let me ask this. What's the distinction when you say they're lusting after me? Couldn't the stripper make the same argument?
Yeah, except for a stripper's touching and doing sexual.
Okay, so
hang on.
It seems like you're just like trying to
Let's say the stripper
No,
never
there's a
touched
fine
him.
line between
Let's say the
using
stripper
your-
never touched him, ever, never touched any of the Johns. Just showed up and shook her ass. That's all she did.
Sure, I don't do that.
Yeah, but let's say that's all she did, okay? She's not touching anybody now.
Sure.
She's using her sexualization to make money. Wouldn't, just like you are, right?
No.
What's the distinction then?
The difference is that you're dancing and you're shaking your ass and you're doing that to elicit a feeling to get money, right?
And what is the
right?
bikini for?
So the bikini, no.
It seems like you're trying to
Wait,
like justify the reason
One
why.
sec.
I am a Christian, but I think women should be head of household. I am all for women with stake in the game, but the sword penetrates the chalice, not the other way around. We see reality.
Real.
Yeah, thank you, Bum, man. Appreciate it.
What does that mean?
Look, this whole idea that like it's on men to control their lust. Yes, okay, I agree. Men have the responsibility to control their lust, but women also have a responsibility to not elicit that lust from men.
By what I'm wearing.
By you
to
choosing.
be specific.
Yes.
By
Savannah,
what I am wearing.
Savannah, come on. If there's two women and one is
So am I
worn-
eliciting that when I
Please
go
let
to
me
the beach
speak.
with my
Please
bikini?
let me
Okay,
speak.
I apologize.
If there's two, thank you. If there's two women and one of them is wearing a modest dress and the other woman is wearing a bikini that shows off her breasts and her butt, obviously men are going to lust. They're more likely to lust after the woman that's in a bikini with all of her curves showing. She is making a choice to wear something that shows off her body. She's going to elicit lust. Do you concede that?
I agree, but that is also not my responsibility
Okay,
to be responsible
let me
for
ask
your
you a
lustful
different-
That's
ways.
fine. It's you can say it's not your responsibility, but just don't call yourself traditional or modest.
Well, let me
I
ask
am.
this a different
You're
way.
not.
That's fair.
Inside
By
of
definition.
We can
Inside of
agree
your
to disagree.
capacity as a bikini barista, can you name a single virtue of being a bikini barista? What is a single virtue? What about it is in any way virtuous?
I'm not going to answer that. Like, I don't know what you're trying to get out of that question.
Okay, so if a guy,
It's not a
if
job that I enjoy doing.
Yeah,
It's
if
not
a
like it's
guy
my
is in-
dream job. I
Do
have
you,
two college
aspire?
degrees.
Do you
I'm
aspire to
working
be
on
the?
it.
Do you aspire to be the Proverbs 31 wife?
I don't know.
Well, you agree that
I may not get
Christianity,
married.
just
I
to
don't
follow
know.
up on this, you agree that Christians need to be virtuous, right?
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
What are the virtues of being a bikini barista?
I never said that there was virtues
Yeah,
of being a bikini
but when
barista.
when you're asked specifically to say, hey, listen, it's not my problem that these guys over here they all want to put their hands all over me. They can't, but they want to, and that's why I make extra money.
I mean,
but
that happens when
stripper
I
over
have
there,
clothes on,
they're doing
too.
something wrong. That's insane.
No, that's fine. But even
That's
when
a
I have clothes
hypocrisy,
on,
and
men
there's
are
no
the same
virtue.
thing.
There's
That's
no
fine.
virtue.
Yeah.
We can agree to disagree on that. But
It might happen when you have clothes on. I get that because, you know, sometimes I get experiences where I'm walking down the street completely fully clothed, even wearing like a trench coat which goes down to my ankles, and there's still men who like come after me and they're like, oh, can I have your number, whatever. I get that, it can happen. But if I was walking down the street half naked, I would get a lot more male attention than if I was completely covered up. So her point is so crazy. That's not a way to justify literally walking around in a bikini and serving men cocktails. You can't compare the two. Like if you're fully clothed, you get a lot less attention, and there's a reason that you're doing it, because you do get more money in tips when you are half naked. Same as OnlyFans models, let's be honest.
men want to do the same
There's
thing
no
when I
di-
have clothes on too. I could be wearing a potato sack and men would still want to do that.
Sure, yeah, absolutely, because men have sex drives. But if you're wearing a bikini, it is
But
going
that is
it is
your
going to
responsibility.
stimulate a man's
Then
sex drive.
that's
Anything
just
could
like
stimulate
Savannah,
a man's sex
Savannah,
drive.
Savannah,
Should I wear a hijab
Savannah.
then?
No, you don't have to wear
Like-
a hijab.
I prefer a burqa,
You
to
don't-
be honest.
You don't
Burqa,
have to,
okay.
but Savannah, just like it's a man's job, it's a man's
Get the rocks.
responsibility to control
Abdul,
his lust. It's
get the rocks.
also
Get the
a
rocks.
woman's responsibility, if she calls herself a traditional modest Christian,
Hikima
to not
donated
inspire lust.
$200. Abortion is a necessary evil, should be strictly regulated. God-given rights made up. Andrew W. Brixton, PLS. Stop showing these girls half-naked pics. I don't have Insta for reason. Only 304s.
Okay,
Chase
all right.
W.
Thank you.
question. If you start dating a guy, your boyfriend or your husband, if he requested you take down those photos, would you oblige him?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Do you think it might improve if you were interested in dating, do you think it might improve your dating prospects in the traditional Christian male pool to remove those photos?
Yeah, it probably would. But the thing is that I'm not dating right now. I'm not interested in dating right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm just living
What
my
I'm
life,
curious
having
about
fun.
still, if you just don't mind one last follow-up.
And then I'm going to bring Selena
My
finally
big,
in.
my big curiosity here still is I'm caught up on this idea that you have no responsibility. I
It's
have no
crazy.
responsibility. It's their responsibility
I mean,
for the
Muslims
because
would say
hang on,
like
hang on.
Let him
Yes.
finish his point. No interrupting.
National
Wait,
donated $200. Azir's only W all night. She's right, you are basically a stripper just like in states that don't allow female strippers to strip nude.
Yeah.
No difference, you just want to feel different from the of girls.
Whatever you say.
Yeah, well, in this case, this super chatter hits the nail on the head. And what the super chatter is saying is the same thing I'm going to tell you or ask you, which is why couldn't anybody engage in sex work?
Grid One Motorsports donated $200.
Yeah, thank you, Grid One. Appreciate it,
Brian,
man.
I leave you alone for a few minutes and while
No time for healthy weekday meals? I cannot wait to try this.
Wow. To Savannah,
wild.
would you make the same tips if you were in a modest dress?
Right. Well, this gets to the heart of it real quick. So, all of the women who are involved in any kind of sex work, you realize can use the same exact argument you just did, which is to say the responsibility is 100% on the John. If he wasn't coming to have sex with us, then I wouldn't even be a prostitute, would I?
No,
if the
'cause you're
John wasn't coming in to watch me strip,
You're
I wouldn't even be able to
consenting
strip,
that
would I?
action. You're doing a
shifting-
sexual
hang on, let me-
action.
just
So
let
are
me
you.
finish the
No,
point.
I'm not.
Yes,
What am I
you
doing
are.
that's
You're
sexual?
making coffee in a bikini.
That's not
inherently
sexual.
sexual.
And
you
Yes,
get
it
tips.
is.
No, it's
You
not.
get-
Why
you
does
get
it- why-
paper
I'm not
dollar
dancing
tips
on
like
someone. I'm
every
not
other
touching
stripper.
somebody. I'm not doing
Why
anything.
would a woman walk into her bedroom on her wedding night in lingerie for her husband? Because
Lingerie
that
and bikinis are
lingerie
very
is inherently
different.
sexual. They're very different in the sense that there's lace on it and it's different
No,
materials, but
no.
you're showing off
I'm
the curves
covered.
of your body
No,
to
yeah.
stimulate your
So-
man's
so you
sex
want-
drive.
Might as well just go to the beach and
So
lingerie.
you want
then,
me to
right?
believe
the
you
men who are
honestly-
buying coffee
hang on,
are
hang
tipping
on, I
you
just
in
want- just
dollars
this
like
last thing, because this will
strippers.
make your point too.
They're not.
They're coming
That's
to
like-
get
You
coffee
honest-
because you're in a bikini.
Yeah, you
they could go to a
honest-
better coffee shop.
Then that's their issue.
Well,
but
could
I'm
you
making
honestly
coffee.
say that
But
Like,
you
you're-
know
that's my-
exactly why
Yeah.
you work that job to make more money
It's
and
the
tips.
same reason
Yeah,
you're
I can
posting
make more money.
bikini photos on your Instagram to solicit.
Guys, think about it. Okay, so she's making coffee. So she takes the order at the till, and then the guy orders. She turns around to make it at the coffee machine, like her whole bum will be showing and in his face. How is that not sexual? And how can she still be defending the fact that she does that as a job and she earns money from that? How can she defend that? You're literally, I would be ashamed if I was wearing a bikini and had to turn around and show a guy my bum whilst I make his coffee with the coffee machine. I would feel so ashamed. I'd feel like I've just failed at life, and I'd feel like I've sinned, and I'd feel like I have let myself down, let my parents down. And she calls herself a Christian woman, yet she's doing this. She literally said she's traditional. And yeah, that couldn't be further from the truth. Looking on her Instagram and seeing her naked photos pretty much, and hearing what she does for a living.
Yeah,
It's
can you
sexual
honestly
attention.
say that your employer was like, I want you to wear a bikini because it's really hot in here?
I don't give a shit what my employer
Is that
thinks.
what your employer was like? I want you to wear a
I
bikini
don't
because
give a
it
shit.
gets up to like 90 and I'd really just, I want you to be cool while you're working. Why do you think your employer wants you to wear a bikini while
That's
you're serving
their
coffee?
responsibility. If they come through because
Yeah,
they
but
want
why do you
coffee
think
or
he
they
does?
want to look at my
Girl,
ass,
but
that's
why do you
their
think he
Starbucks.
does?
responsibility.
If you want a husband one day and you're a Christian, work at Starbucks.
Nah, I'm good. They support abortion.
Okay.
Wait.
We'll find another hometown coffee
And you
shop.
support sex work, so.
No, I don't. That's literally not sex work.
Yeah, it's literally sex work.
literally not sex
Abortion.
work.
It's literally
It's-
sex
it's
work.
still
yeah.
not
soliciting
sex
your
work.
body
It's not
just like a
debatable.
sex
It's not
worker.
sex work.
And you
It's
get,
not sex. I'm not doing anything sexual whatsoever.
and then they hand you
Except the
cash
sex
tips
work.
after you.
It's literally not sex work.
Denial.
That's
not
inherent
sexual.
sexual.
And you
Yes,
get
it
tips.
is.
No, it's
Yeah, okay. What do you guys think? Someone said, you can be proud of your body, but why show your body to men? Exactly. I feel the exact same way. What? How did the two correlate? Like, I am proud of my body. I still choose to cover my body up because I don't want men looking at my body. I would like it to be reserved for one person and one person only. So that's why I choose to do that, because I'm a Christian woman and because I don't want random men looking at me. It's just mental. It's actually mental. Yeah, Shay Nolan said, not modest photos. Exactly. Thank you. Look at her Instagram. They are not modest photos. Anyone can see it. Anyone who's got a brain, anyone who's got eyes can see that they are not modest photos. Yet she's still talking absolute rubbish saying that they are. Not her responsibility. Exactly. Like, she was literally saying that it's not her responsibility if men look at her body and lust over her. Yes, it is, because you're half naked showing your body to men. Of course it's your responsibility. Only thing I dislike about whatever is Brian not allowing conversations sometimes, and always the interruptions. Yeah, because of the super chats, there's always interruptions coming in, and yeah, it's a bit annoying sometimes. I'm not going to lie. It all comes down to this. Be modest is highly more attractive, actually. Yeah, it's very true. And I did notice that this is really, really weird, but I was beginning to get more male attention the more modest I was dressing. And I think it's because nowadays most women walk around half naked and men are just used to that now. So they're kind of getting bored of it and they're like, what is going on? But when they see a woman who's covered up and modest and, you know, confident in the fact that she doesn't need to show her body to everyone, they are like, oh my gosh, this is refreshing. I've not seen this for a while. And then they, go and show their interest, which is crazy, because you'd think it would be the other way around, but it's kind of making a turn now, so that's kind of cool. Okay, next video. Blind dating 6 girls based on glow ups. Let's just have a look at this 1 second. Bear with me, guys. How has your week been? Let me know. And yeah. Do you think that traditional modest women, self-proclaimed traditional modest women, should be having a job which is serving men coffees completely, pretty much naked? What do you guys think? Is it rocket science, or is there an obvious answer? Anyway, okay, guys. Here's the video, blind dating 6 girls based on glow ups.
Good evening, welcome to Facebook.
Hi, Blessing. The stream got blocked because of apparently watching a video that's belonging to someone else. Yep. Okay. gone. It was this one.
Oh no, it's gonna continue. Play another video. Don't play the Peace Monkey one.
Why? No, it was this one that was the one.
It's been temporarily blocked. It's actually gonna continue.
Okay.
I know it.
So this is the one that was blocked. So can I play the Piers Morgan one? That's not the one that was blocked. This is the one that was blocked.
We'll play the Peace Monkey one.
Uncensored climate protesters might be pretty irritating, but they undeniably have a serious cause. You could say we saw a bit of that yesterday when we experienced the hottest day in British history, and recorded history anyway, and there was a surge of wildfires right across the country, causing huge damage. So how do these protesters go about winning hearts and minds for their cause? Well, this was campaign group Just Stop Oil's answer today. Activists climbed gantries on the M25, blocking it and causing 9-mile tailbacks, causing, of course, extensive misery for many motorists. The group first made the headlines back in March when they stormed BAFTA's red carpet.
Wasn't even anything.
And it was football's turn. So they attached themselves by the neck to goalposts. There was also disruption in the British Grand Prix, with protesters having to be physically dragged off the track. In early April, Just Stop Oil managed to literally stop oil, blocking tankers around the country from delivering petrol, causing a week of shortages at the pumps. And recent weeks have seen our guests tonight.
Really sorry about that. Apparently copyright issues there. So I'm going to play a different video because that one did not allow me to play it for some reason. So going to try this one instead. Very sorry, guys. Really, really sorry for that. Let's watch this one instead. So it's called Woman Destroys Eco-Protesters After They Made Her Miss Mum's Funeral. Relatable.
Good evening, welcome to Piers Morgan Uncensored. Climate protesters might be pretty irritating, but they undeniably have a serious cause. You could say we saw a bit of that yesterday when we experienced the hottest day in British history, and recorded history anyway, and there was a surge of wildfires right across the country, causing huge damage. So how do these protesters go about winning hearts and minds for their cause? Well, this was campaign group Just Stop Oil's answer today. Activists climbed gantries on the M25, blocking it and causing 9-mile tailbacks, causing, of course, extensive misery for many motorists. The group first made the headlines back in March when they stormed BAFTA's red carpet. Then it was football's turn, as they attached themselves by the neck to goalposts. There was also disruption in the British Grand Prix, with protesters having to be physically dragged off the track. In early April, Just Stop Oil managed to literally stop oil, blocking tankers around the country from delivering petrol, causing a week of shortages at the pumps. And recent weeks have seen our guests tonight glue themselves to the Hay Wain at the National Gallery, and others attach themselves to masterpieces by Van Gogh and Turner, as well as The Last Supper. I'm joined now by Just Stop Oil co-founder Hannah Hunt and protester Eben Lazarus. Welcome to you both. I suppose my reaction to this is that I don't dispute you represent an important cause. Never have done. I believe in climate change. I think it's serious. I think we're seeing the impact of that all through Europe at the moment.
Oh my gosh. He believes in climate change. Okay, then why are so many climate experts coming out and saying that it's a load of rubbish, that there is global warming? You know, climate change is a thing. It has existed since the beginning of time. Of course, the climate changes because we've seen the Ice Age in history. But yeah, the climate changes, which is a natural fluctuation in temperature in the Earth. Of course, that happens. But global warming, which they're saying is like going to end the world, that is a scam. And that's a lie, and it's not true, and they're trying to say it to make us hand over our freedoms in the hope that the government can save us from the world ending, which is just such a load of rubbish. They just want to push a social credit system, guys. Anyway, Piers Morgan is fueling the fire. He is giving attention to this lie and saying that he is actually promoting this message. That's so embarrassing.
In a pretty dramatic manner. I guess my problem is the way you're going about this, because I'm not sure you're winning hearts and minds. I think you're actually having the opposite effect. And that's my problem with it. I think the kind of cultural wanton damage, I think, you know, hijacking sporting events, I think the motorway stuff where you're causing huge disruption to so many people, it's, I think, annoying a lot of people more than it's bringing them to you. What do you say?
I mean, so Piers, if you agree that there's this huge issue right now, then you might also agree that no new oil and gas licenses, which is what we're asking for, is a no-brainer. It's in line with what the International Energy Agency, the IPCC, the UN are all asking. It's in line with
all corrupt organisations. Carry on.
The government net zero targets, right? So that's what we're asking. It's a no-brainer no-brainer demand. And we have to do whatever we can to force the government to implement this, because otherwise we're on a course bound for, you know, more summers like what we're seeing this week.
Right. I mean, Hannah, the government doesn't seem to be paying much attention to you guys attaching yourselves to paintings or disrupting sporting events or disrupting motorists going about their business, some to very important things.
I mean, the government aren't paying attention to us, and nor are they paying attention to the severity of the climate crisis. I mean, this week, in the hottest week of weather we've seen in British history, on Monday, our UK judiciary ruled that the government's net zero plans for 2050 are unlawful. So the real true criminals here are our government. They don't care about the situation or the severity at all, Piers.
Oh my gosh, guys, there was hot weather. Can't believe there was hot weather. 30 degrees. Oh my goodness, guys. We are literally burning. The world is on fire. There are flames all around us, guys. Oh my gosh. It's the end of the world. It's the end of the world.
Do you care about the disruption you cause ordinary people who've got nothing to do with this,
so
who are trying to go about their lives, their business, and you're disrupting them? You're causing them a lot of misery. Do you care about them?
I mean, Piers, have you seen the disruption that the heat waves, the fires are literally engulfing houses in London? It's causing... Have you seen the strain to our NHS? They are on a black level alert. Yeah. Have you seen the strain to our fire service? They've had the greatest call-out since World War II.
I'm asking you, though, about the disruption you cause ordinary people who might well support the general cause you're representing, but don't understand why you want to cause them so much distress. Do you understand the distress you're causing some people?
So my personal view, you know, you're asking me about my distress.
No, I'm asking you about the distress
my understanding
you cause
of the distress.
Other people. Are you aware of quite the scale of the kind of distress you cause when, for example, you bring motorways crashing to a halt?
If we're talking about disruption, there may be people...
Hang on, let me finish. That there may be people who are actually trying to get to incredibly important things. Do you care about them?
Piers, come on, look at the situation we're in right now. You know what's happening.
I'm asking you if on a human
is whether this is a proportional response to what is going on.
That wasn't the question. You know, with respect to both of you, I've said I agree with the cause you're fighting for. It's the methodology I have a problem with, and I just wonder whether you have understood.
But you keep, throughout all these interviews that you and other members of the media have with people, you keep throwing out this methodology thing. But if you look,
I just asked you whether you care about the distress you cause people.
Listen, we care about any distress that is caused to anyone. That's what we're trying to prevent in doing this. Because if we don't stop the government opening the 40 new oil and gas fields that they have planned, then the amount of distress and suffering and death that is coming is unimaginable.
To some people's misery is worth preventing other misery. Is that the calculation you've made?
Piers, you're just coming in with these questions again and again.
Well,
and you know you're going to get the same answers from any of us.
I'm not.
Why don't we talk about the actual
I'm asking you a very
issues
specific question because I have another guest here, Amanda Bishop. Amanda, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Where have you come from today?
I've come from my mother's funeral today.
Your mother's funeral?
Yes.
First of all, my deepest condolences
Thank you.
to you and your family on the loss of your mother. Obviously, a hugely important day for your family.
Hugely.
And you wanted to give your mum a great send-off and give her the funeral she deserved.
That's right.
How old was she, if you don't mind me asking?
She was 90. She died on her 90th birthday.
So she had an extraordinary life.
She did.
Which you wanted to pay proper tribute to today. And
we all did.
And what happened?
We basically got stuck in traffic because of the protests, illegal protests from what I can gather. Because unfortunately my mother lived very close to the M25 and that's where the hearse left from. And as a consequence, we were so delayed in traffic that we actually missed our allocated slot.
We're seeing the pictures here of the car behind the hearse, showing the hearse stuck in traffic. And as a consequence, you missed your slot.
We missed our
slot.
slot.
How long in the end was your mother's funeral?
A very, very quick 10 minutes. And my mother was a meticulous timekeeper, meticulous.
And I understand her best friend couldn't even get there.
Couldn't even get there. And it caused an enormous amount of issues for us, because, not least because we didn't feel that we could pay her the tribute that we wanted in the time that we did. But we had all the other arrangements that we had for the rest of the day were really put out.
I mean, I understand why young people are concerned about climate change. I understand why they want to protest and so on. I don't understand some of these methods they're using. I don't think they understand the implications and the consequences of what they do. And I think you've just perfectly explained one scenario, which has been repeated, I suspect, many times over today.
Yes.
How do you feel about it when you see the protesters here and they respond the way they do? How do you feel?
Okay, well, I'd really like, I hope I would give as balanced a view as I can, because we understand that climate change is a pressing issue. But I think to do the things that you did and to endanger, forgetting all the delays that happened to people today, actually, we got on with our day. You did not disrupt our day at all. You disrupted it, but we still felt that we managed to pay a tribute that we wanted to her. And I'm sure every other driver and everybody else you inconvenienced today felt the same thing. But if I was married to one of those police officers whose lives you were endangering today, I would be less impressed with that. Particularly when I can see a tweet from you that you're very happy with all the firefighters risking their lives yesterday and in admiration of them. But on the same token, you're allowing police officers, and some people I'm sure would have said you should be able to protest illegally like that, and just someone should have just left you there. And why should we all get disrupted if you are knowing that you are breaking the law?
Okay, what's your response?
Firstly, I just want to say I truly am sorry for disrupting your day, and also condolences. I really am sorry. But I want to try and look at the bigger picture here. And the criminals are our government. They're investing in new oil, and these 40 new licenses that they plan to open by 2025 is a death project, and they are failing to protect the people of this country, which is their fundamental responsibility.
What can I just say? And
oh my goodness. She's so brainwashed. It is so sad to watch. And I admire her distaste for the government. I am on the same page as that, but she is completely missing the point. The government they are evil, but not because of global warming. They're evil because they want to try and make you into a government slave. Come on, see the bigger picture. She's saying, oh yes, the bigger picture. She's not seeing the bigger picture. So stop telling other people to, because you can't see it yourself, woman. When we are living in a social credit system, one day, soon, you will be looking at yourself in this interview and laughing and saying, oh my goodness. Actually, you won't be laughing. You'll be terrified, and you'll realize the massive part you played in brainwashing the public into being so scared that they are willing to give their freedom to the government and become government slaves in the hopes that they will try and protect us from global warming. You have pushed a narrative which is so dangerous, and the public will watch this and probably see your conviction and believe you. And that's so sad and so dangerous. And I believe she's either an actor or she truly believes that what she's doing is correct. But you would think she's an actor because of how good she is at pushing this message the government really want us to hear in order to hand over our freedom to them.
I hear what you're saying, and I have 3 young children of my own, young adults. And I also understand that actually what you're trying to do when you make change is actually build and bring people with you, and it's a skill to have, a really big skill. And if you don't have that skill, it's easy to do the things that you're doing to try and get some shock tactics, but actually you're not bringing about change. And even though you might think that the government are the criminals, I at least elected them. And if I don't like them, I can elect them again, either to not be in power or choose somebody else. I didn't elect you, and I don't necessarily agree with your politics.
I mean, Piers has, is it 11-year-old daughter you have? How old's your daughter? And she is voiceless right now. She cannot elect someone in power to choose what her future looks like. And her future, by the time she is my age, there will be drought, there will be food shortages, and worse summers than this one. So,
yeah, there'll be food shortages because the government are going to be rationing us because of the message that you are spreading right now. That's why there'll be food shortages, hun.
Unfortunately, it's for the people that we have to act who cannot vote to elect.
Right, but
someone...
but look, I mean, look, here you have a woman who's tried to say goodbye to her mum, who's 90 years old. It would be the most important day potentially you've ever had in your life, I would think. And ends up with 10 minutes, a funeral lasting 10 minutes for her mother. And that's directly because of the Stop the Oil protests which shut down the motorway. the best friend of her mother couldn't even get there to say goodbye to her great friend. Do you feel any sense of remorse about that when you hear it?
I mean, listen, firstly, my deepest condolences as well. I think the problem is here is you were talking about electing and re-electing governments, but we don't have the time for that. So if we're talking about the net zero targets that the government have put in place, which the judiciary have just ruled unlawful, that's in 28 years' time. And our country is burning. Okay, we've literally seen that this week. We've seen people die because of the heat, and it's just going to get worse. The whole of Europe is burning and is on fire. And
People have died because of the heat for forever. Forever. That doesn't mean that we're suddenly experiencing something we've never experienced before. It's happened since forever. And it's the majority of deaths are older people as well. People who were going to die anyway and just are too old to take heat. Why is that such a big worry to you? Like, it's literally happened since the beginning of time. Of course, if there's a really old person, they're not going to be feeling well when it's quite hot. But why are you scared of hot weather? This man is not a man. He's so effeminate. He's literally, he looks so feminine. And the message that he is spreading right now, literally saying he's afraid of hot weather, is proving my point even more. That is so embarrassing.
Ways to make that point. There are ways to make that point.
What we have
and
to do is generate the political
disrupting.
will. We're
You're not
talking about
generating
determining how many people are going to die and suffer over the coming decades. We're going to talk. We're talking about what kind of a future your children,
would you
my
replace,
generation are going
would
to
you
have.
right
because
now?
our government don't care right now.
I mean, how draconian would you be? Would you cut the oil off right now?
What we're saying is no new oil and gas. So
right.
by the
but
government,
if it was down to you, would you cut it off right now?
No, that would be total chaos. But by the government's own reports, we have 8 years of oil and gas reserves left. That's plenty of time to transition away from that into something that's sustainable and that actually gives our generation a future. I mean, we're already seeing the impacts. This isn't something that's going to happen in 10, 20 years.
Yeah, let's live off electricity so the government can turn it off when we do something they don't like. Good idea. Good idea. Because if that's what you mean by sustainable, it ain't gonna work, and I refuse to do it. And so many people refuse to do it, not just me, literally millions of people who are going against this message that they're trying to push. So I can't watch any more of that, guys. I'm really sorry. Can't do it. It's just too, it hurts my brain seeing people who are that brainwashed and literally want to be government slaves. I can't do it. So, yeah, let's move on. I refuse to watch a message from people who literally want to be a government slave. So, yeah, you guys, I think, agree with me. Hysterical. It is very hysterical, yeah. Let me see. What is this one?
Married for 10.
Okay. He was a perfect husband, but something was missing, so I left.
Married for 10 years. I got married young. I was 21, barely, like 3 days, 21. I left the good guy. He looks at and is like, that's a dad. That's a husband. That's how it's supposed to be. He did the dishes. He cleaned the house. He took the kids to school. He worked all day. He made good money. He supported us.
Why'd you get divorced?
He's not confident enough for me.
He wasn't confident enough for you? What the f does that mean? Who's your ideal man? If you could be with any man in the world, who would it be?
I haven't found him yet.
You haven't found him yet? Damn, you're so confident. You need a man on Pluto or something.
Trust me, when it gets to the point where you're like, oh, sugar, I've actually lost a good guy here, then that's when it hits. That's when it hits.
Let me tell y'all something, sis. Stop breaking up with your man. If you're married, stop threatening that man with a divorce. Every time he do something so small.
If he gave you a guilt-free pass to sleep with anybody in the world, would you use it?
Yeah.
On who?
She's for the streets.
Zac Efron, Josh Bowman, some celebrity, hot celebrity.
You can't just pick women based on looks. You have to understand a woman's mindset. And if her mindset is modern, you got
Based on her own words, her ex-husband was a perfect man, but she still felt like something was missing, therefore she left him. Now she is a single mother navigating the dating scene.
That is so sad. And obviously she's going to be less attractive to men who she wants to be attractive to because she's got children with another man. And, you know, it's just not going to be what she thinks it will be. That's why she left him, because she thought she could find better. No. By her own standards, he was a perfect man. Well, not perfect, but pretty close to perfect, according to what she was saying. And the thing is, when you get married, you do lose that spark sometimes because it's not as exciting. It's, you know, very mundane. You do the same thing every day, especially when you have children together. It just feels like you're repeating the same day over and over again. And of course, you have less time to be romantic and do romantic things together and spend quality time together and be together one-on-one and not have a screaming baby next to you, you know, ruining the mood. So of course, the spark does go. And that's what was missing, the spark, because it wasn't exciting anymore like it used to be. It's just so sad that her only alternative was to leave him. Literally the father of your child, or children even, and to leave him just because the spark went. There are so many ways to rebuild that, and I believe that love is a choice. I believe that, you know, you can choose to put time and effort into each other, and you can choose to give each other that energy, and if something's missing, then you can put the energy and effort into it to make it come back. Giving up is not a good solution, especially when you have children involved. You can't just give up. But she did, and that is so sad to see. And it just, there's always this attitude in younger people nowadays where it's like, oh, the grass is greener on the other side, like I can find better. Oh, is this, you know, because of social media, and all you see is like people and couples and men on your explore page on Instagram or on YouTube, and you're like, oh, well, my husband's not like this, my husband doesn't do this, my husband doesn't do that, and you compare your partner with people online because there are so many people you can just see online. It's not like it used to be. So I think she's done that, and I think she left a good guy, and she's going to regret it in years to come because she might find a guy who's more exciting and, you know, a bad boy kind of guy who she's attracted to in the moment, but she'll quickly have a rude awakening where she'll realize that she's made the biggest mistake of her life. And yeah, sad.
Married for 10 years.
Oh, I've just gone back. 1 second, guys. Let me go forward.
Interesting comments of this video. Let's check them.
Yeah, exactly. Someone said, unless it's unhealthy, but the unhealthy idea has changed to I disagree with you. Yeah, but if it is genuinely unhealthy and you're literally having fights and physical altercations, of course, that's a step too far. And then obviously he's broken his vow if he's doing that to you. And I understand why you would leave, but she's literally saying that he was great and she didn't mention that any of that happened. So I believe that it was just, yeah, the grass is greener on the other side. Let me try and see what I can find and see if I can find something better, which is such a crazy attitude to have when you have children. Like, you can't just do that, but women nowadays are mental.
My wife would never cheat on me. We've been together since 1989 and married for 31 years come this December. This woman just showed her true colors. Wow, what a nice, genuine guy. He deserves better. Sorry, brother, but she is most definitely not a keeper, but she is a future runner. Cut her loose now and save yourself the heartache and misery because she's not worth it. Romantic love doesn't exist. Love the person you're with, but don't fall for the fairy tale.
I think the romantic love does exist, but you put effort into it. It doesn't just come on its own. Maybe it does at first, but later on it doesn't just come on its own. You have to actually put the effort into it and make it romantic and change your attitude towards your relationship. Because if your attitude is negative and you're expecting bad things to happen, they will.
Relationship is over. You can see the heartbreak in his face. If this were me, I would walk away from her.
He needs to have some self-respect, because she literally told him in his face that if he gave her a free pass, she would sleep with other men, and that's like crazy.
Why'd you get divorced?
He's not confident enough for me.
He wasn't confident enough for you? Never seen that. Oh.
Confident enough. Is
Sorry, I think we've watched
barely. 8 weeks.
Is it just repeating itself over and over again?
Marriage is forever, and it's not temporary, and age is not an excuse in my opinion. But there's more to the story, so continue.
Fighting for me, I was pushing him away. But I never truly accepted happiness. I left the good guy. He looks at and is like, that's a dad. That's a husband. That's how it's supposed to be. He did the dishes. He cleaned the house. He took the kids to school.
Yeah, this is a weird video because it's just replaying itself over and over again. So don't know what's going on there. Let's move on to the next one. But yeah, the point is, don't just give up on a relationship with a guy or a woman who is like amazing and treats you with respect and love, and actually, I mean, the way she was describing him was as if he was almost perfect, and then she went and left him. So it's just sad. It is just sad. Okay, next one. Why do we have such a low view of fathers? Let's see.
Things I deal with is, why is it that we have such a negative view of fathers? You know, in the media, fathers are regularly mocked and ridiculed, the butt of the joke. You know, the Homer Simpson model. You know, the father's always the dimwit dad. One of my sons really loved the Berenstain Bears, and I don't know if you've read those, but the father's always the doofus. You know, he's even the kids laugh at him and make fun of him, and so. I think that's another thing we need to address is, you know, men are not going to be motivated to become fathers if fatherhood itself is not respected.
Yeah.
You know, if it's not given accorded dignity and value. And so I ask why that happened. And again, we have to go back to the Industrial Revolution, because when fathers were taken out of the home, you know, for the first time, they were no longer there as fathers. For the first time, boys were growing up without close relationships and supervision by their fathers. Yeah, we're so used to it now that we don't realize, again, you have to go back to the 19th century and read the literature. They were shocked. They were shocked that fathers were no longer there. The leading psychologist of the 19th century said, our boys are growing up half orphaned, because their fathers are not there day in and day out. Or you find other people, Parents Magazine back then said, the greatest source of domestic sorrow these days is that fathers can't be home with their kids anymore. And we talked about the temperance movement. The founder of the temperance movement said, you know, the father is meant to be like the prototype of God in the family, and yet he's not there from Sunday to Sunday. So at the time, it was a great shock that men were no longer closely connected to their sons. And so I do have a whole chapter in the book giving practical, you have to give some practical solutions as well. And so I talk about ways in which men have worked to flex the workplace a bit, be home more. And the pandemic was actually a game changer, because a lot of fathers discovered they actually liked being closer to their kids. Harvard University actually did a study in which the conclusion was 68% of fathers said during the pandemic, I got closer to my children, and I don't want to lose that. You know, I want to have some kind of a maybe hybrid setup at work, some kind of an arrangement. And even leaving, work a few days early. I had a graduate student, a man who just left work a few days early to coach his son's soccer and basketball teams. His boss accused him of coasting, but he said it did not harm his career. And when his children grew up, they said, we want to be a dad like you, which is a lot better than any workplace accolades. So I do look at some ways in which fathers can maybe make room, even in our industrial age. And I quote CEOs too, who say it works. You know, you've got to persuade business and corporations as well that this is going to work. I quote one CEO who said, before the pandemic, of course, we were afraid to try remote work because we thought we would lose productivity. You know, they would slough off, they wouldn't work. He said, and this is a direct quote, he said, the pandemic has completely exploded that fear. We did not see any drop in productivity. You know, in fact, if anything, when they don't have to spend time getting dressed and sitting in traffic, we get more work out of them when they're working from home and not being interrupted by constant meetings.
Interesting. Yeah, I do definitely see that fathers are ridiculed in cartoons, they're ridiculed in films, they're ridiculed in TV shows. It is a thing that I've never really thought about. I never actually made that connection as to why that could actually deter men from becoming fathers and from wanting to become fathers. So yeah, interesting, very interesting thoughts there. Next video.
Without further,
I think I've actually seen this one before, so I'm going to choose a different one. Women hitting the wall.
Whoever fought for women to get jobs. Why?
Why, guys?
Why did we do that? I am so tired. I want to just put my feet up. Like, I am... Oh my god.
I know that feeling.
Didn't you know? This is what equality feels like.
The biggest red flag when you go into a guy's place or a bedroom?
An American flag.
You like a North Korean one?
No, I have a North Korean one and an American one, yeah.
Me too.
American flag is a red flag.
Look at me, I'm a big fat slob.
The American flag is the Nicki Minaj one.
Look at these two f***ing pigeons.
I want a North Korea flag.
Really, bitch? Go live in North Korea. Go.
Yeah.
I'll buy you the plane ticket. You and your little fat friend there. Let's say I go over to a guy's house and he has a big, beautiful American flag. I'm gonna let him do some real nasty things to me as I stare at that flag.
Oh dear.
You wanna know why? Cause freedom. On that note, I'm gonna go swallow an egg roll. Okay, bye.
She gon' be okay, everything gon' go away once she gets some dick.
Something that really bothers me and like honestly has given me a sense of a little bit of an insecurity is the fact that, yeah, like there are all these women like throwing themselves, but me, like the past 10 years, like I don't have any of that. Like I have zero, this sounds weird, but like male attention. Cause I don't want it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Okay. But it'd be nice to know that like someone's looking.
So this is the sick fact. This chick's got an alpha male that plenty of women want, but she seeks male attention and has a subconscious or even conscious desire to have somebody wanting her besides her husband.
Oh dear.
That's the problem these days. Watch out, guys.
You ready for a new report?
Don't, not tonight, Cletus. I'll kick your ass.
I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know how I do anything wrong in the bed. I don't get that. When all you do is criticize me. Oh, your head bogus and all this, and that. Like, what the f***? Come on now. Come on.
What?
Fellas, stop gassing up these butterfaces. Your drooling mouth emoji under a post of some IHOP flapjacks got these females thinking they're 10s when they're really negative 2s. Scooty, scoot! Scooty, scoot!
Stop simping, guys. That shit don't work anyways.
Jocelyn, be careful. There's a sharp curve coming up. Hold on to the water.
Oh dear. Oh my goodness, his leg. His leg. Oh my gosh.
At different times in my life, I've chosen to intervene in different situations, but it's not always smart because if that person had a gun, you could lose your life over a stranger. So really think about it.
Yeah, but still, that's a man protecting a woman, and I think that's amazing.
One guy who messaged me, he's like, oh, I don't know what to do. I really miss my girl. I said, why'd you split up? Oh, she was talking to these guys. It's like, why do you miss her? You know, because she was my only girl. He wanted her back. I said, you don't want her back because you know she's a shit girlfriend. You just don't want to miss her anymore. Most of these guys are in love with girls and they don't even want the girl. All they do is argue with the girl. They can't stand her. She's a dickhead. But they're just too much of a pussy to feel like they miss someone. If you're not afraid of heartbreak and you stick to your guns, you're going to have a fantastic life with you. If you're not afraid to say, sorry, not good enough for me, goodbye, and stick to it as a fucking man, you're gonna do just fine.
They say time heals all wounds. Then tell me why I still think about the time 3 years ago when a guy I was dating, I asked him to titty bang me. And he said, how would we do that with you?
Oh, God.
Is there any more of that bomb potato salad?
Yeah, no, sure. Yeah.
Whereabouts? Over there?
Yeah.
Hey, yo, what the fuck? Nice.
Why?
What the fuck did you do? What the fuck? It's just it's like a stomach thing that I...
Get the fuck out of my house.
It's just like a stomach...
I don't give a shit.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Get the F out of my house.
I don't want to do this if I don't have you, please. Please. Record me, I don't care. Record me, I don't care. Because I'm psycho. Post it. Post it.
I'm not even recording you.
Post it. Post it. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't want you more.
Hey, stop. What the fuck is you doing, bro?
I need you! Take me back!
Make sure if this is happening to you fellas that you definitely turn on that phone and record, because you never know the story she could tell if you don't. And beware. I wouldn't take him back at this point because it's a ticking time bomb. It's a scary situation.
It looks like a demonic possession, really, doesn't it? If he really makes her feel that way, why doesn't she just leave? Why is she literally begging him to stay? And also, why isn't he leaving? Like, I hope he's left her by now, because they're obviously not good for each other if they make each other feel like that.
And you're the one that's going to go to jail almost 90% of the time.
If you had 24 hours with me and I couldn't say no, what would we do?
It's basically an 8-hour arm workout, and it's made up of 16 mini workouts every half an hour throughout the day for 8 hours straight.
Not contradictory. It don't matter what the you think they are. Do you want a husband or not? You come in here talking critically about men. Do you want one? Do you want a man? If you want a man, become more desirable to men.
Yep. Otherwise, you'll get a feminine excuse for a man.
If you don't want a man, you don't got to do nothing to be more desirable to men. You don't even want a fucking man. But if you do want a man and you're not willing to adjust yourself to be more desirable to men, you're fucking delusional. You're the problem. If you don't want a man, it don't matter. But if you do want a man, you better find out what the fuck they think and how they feel. Or keep doing whatever you've been doing. And keep letting that rose fry your pussy. Where you can't even come up with a partner now because your pussy fuck. Because you done electrocuted your pussy. And you and your friends sit around each other talking about what y'all think y'all know about men. And drinking all that wine and getting all them yeast infections and just talking to each other shit that y'all know nothing about. frying your pussy up with them roses and shit.
You get a rat and you put it in a cage, and you give it 2 water bottles. One is just water, and the other is water laced with either heroin or cocaine. If you do that, the rat will almost always prefer the drugged water and almost always kill itself quite quickly. In the 70s, Professor Alexander noticed we're putting the rat in an empty cage. It's got nothing to do except use these drugs. Let's try something a bit different. So Professor Alexander built a cage that he called Rat Park, which is basically heaven for rats. They've got loads of cheese, they've got loads of coloured balls, they've got loads of tunnels. Crucially, they've got loads of friends, and they've got both the water bottles, the normal water and the drugged water. But here's the fascinating thing. In Rat Park, they don't like the drugged water. They almost never use it. None of them ever use it compulsively. None of them ever overdose. You go from almost 100% overdose when they're isolated to 0% overdose when they have happy and connected lives.
I know some of you guys are struggling with substance abuse out there. Hang in there. I've had that go throughout my family before. But, you know, maybe it's time to move on. Change your friends, change your environment, make a rat park for yourself. Think about it.
Work here?
Yeah.
Here you go. It's for the gender pay gap.
Sure.
Trying to level things out.
Gotcha, bitch.
Don't open your eyes yet, but we're here. I can already smell the
Fish? Are you joking? Is it because my leg's up?
What?
Oh, is it
No.
I don't shower to save the environment.
Oh!
What are you?
What are you talking about? I'm talking about Red Lobster. The date we were supposed to... You know what? Never mind.
A man is gonna go where he feels like a man.
Child,
Sometimes, if you don't build up your man and make him feel like a man, even when he's wrong, but you still don't dishonor him, he's gonna stay with you. But if you beat him up, or if you are nasty to him, or you just treat him like trash, he'll go somewhere else and get that fake feeling.
Alright, this is one of those daytime shows like The View or something. They never advocate for men, but she's pretty spot on here. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I'm surprised they said that on a TV show. That's amazing.
There's a coldness that you have to accept when you're a man. Only women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. A man is only loved under the condition that he provides something.
Alright, guys. You know, in a world where they promote nothing but tolerance, I think it's important to remember to never be ashamed to establish your boundaries. If you find people and what they're doing, society and what's taking place to be disgusting, deplorable, wrong, or whatever, don't be afraid to take a stance. Tell people how you feel. I'm so tired of everyone trying to skate around and explain how everything going around in our society today should be tolerated and dealt with and completely accepted at all points, at all costs. Fuck that. This shit's gotten out of hand, and if you feel like it's got out of hand too, tell the people around you what you stand for. You gotta stand for something, or you'll fall for everything. And this shit's gotten quite out of hand, let me tell you.
One of my favorite quotes. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Exactly. Bonds between people, that's the cure. Yep, agreed. I do think that when you have good people around you, you are less likely to do crazy things like drugs and excessive alcohol consumption. Next video. Did women kill chivalry?
Ladies, has anything like this ever happened to you? Watch.
It's open. It's open.
I don't go out on dates with guys who don't open the door for me.
Really?
Really.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh, man.
No.
I've seen that before, and yeah, I do believe that, you know, men should hold doors open for women, but I also think that, you know, it shouldn't be a thing where you're forcing them to and refusing to go on a date with them if they don't. That's a bit embarrassing. Yeah, I think if a man doesn't do it naturally, don't force it. Just open the door. It's not that hard.
Well, according to a recent survey by Match.com, 73% of women believe that chivalry is dead. And according to one of our next guests, she explains in her new op-ed, it's because women killed it. Suzanne Venker is a columnist and an author of The Alpha Female's Guide to Men and Marriage. And joining her to discuss is Wendy Acefo, a professor at Johns Hopkins University and a Democratic strategist. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Look at their outfits. You can already tell which one is the masculine one who wants chivalry to be dead and which one is the feminine one who's going to argue that it's not dead, or maybe it is dead, but it's only because of women.
Morning. Okay, so Suzanne, you wrote this op-ed. Wendy, I know you've read it. I've read it, and you compare a telegram that was sent to a woman right before she got married to a Facebook video. The first one I want to read is back in the day. Back in 1954, your friend, her mother just recently died. Your friend was going through a memorabilia. She finds this telegram, and it says, this is the husband writing it to his soon-to-be wife. Darling, I shall be waiting for you at 8 with a lifetime of expectancy. My heart will be coming with you down the aisle. May God be with us tonight as we pray we will always be with him. Thank you for becoming my wife. My love forever yours, Henry. Then several days later, Suzanne, you saw on Facebook this video where this person was saying, chivalry is harmful to both men and women because it reinforces this idea that women need to be helped or saved by a stronger man, and it takes away a woman's agency. So you saw these two contrasts, and you decided to write the op-ed. Explain that a little for us.
Sure. So it just struck me as just, wow. I mean, the stark contrast between this beautiful letter that really moved me to seeing this message from this woman basically selling the same tired message that men have been hearing for decades, which is, I can do it by myself. I'm strong enough. You don't need to hold the door open for me.
Oh, I am shocked. I was wrong. I take back everything I said. I'm sorry. Yeah, that just literally proves that you should not judge a book by its cover, which I don't usually do, but I did today. So I apologize. I was wrong.
Need to pay my way. You don't need to. Basically, anything that's sort of traditionally male and female in terms of the courtship is just gone. And after so many years of hearing that, my argument is that men have effectively said, okay, well, you said you don't want it, so I guess I'm not supposed to do it. And if I do it, then you're going to be insulted. So they're really lost and confused about what it is that women want. And I think women are just as confused because they've been sold this message that chivalry is bad or somehow destructive to women, when of course it's not at all. And so we have a problem.
Wendy, what do you think? Are we to blame, women?
I wouldn't go as far as to say that women kill chivalry. Whether you look at from Cardi B to Beyonce or working moms like myself or even countless others, what we have done is we have evolved the conversation of what it means to be a woman in today's society. And what that means is, you know, we're doing it all. And it basically means that men have to basically rise to the occasion to meet us where we are. We are not, you know, the mothers of our past, and there was nothing wrong with that. But we are getting our arms involved in a lot of things, and we're busy doing and juggling millions of things. So chivalry is not dead in the essence of we don't want men to open doors for us. But what we are saying is, you know, you have to handle us and you have to handle our full-time job as well.
Oh dear. You can't have your cake and eat it, hun. If you want to act like a man, you're going to get treated like a man, and you're not going to have a very happy marriage.
Yeah, you make a good point in this op-ed, Suzanne. You talk about how it's not that we can't open our own doors. It's not that we can't pay for our own food. But you say that does it show a sign of respect, or like why is it important to let a woman do those things?
Right. So what's been lost in this whole 40-year experiment, really, or progress, however you want to define it, is the yin and yang, or the dance between women and men. And men and women now are completely confused and lost about who's supposed to do what, who wants what, and what women specifically are confused about is men, and how that is in their DNA to provide and protect women. That is who they are. That is their identity. Mm-hmm. And we've essentially ripped it out of them. And when they become unmoored, I mean, if you don't let them do what's in them to do, you're going to disrupt that dance. And so what I'm trying to say is, look, masculinity and femininity are wonderful things in and of themselves. And when they work in tandem, sparks fly. I mean, it's awesome, but we're not allowing that to happen because we are infused with this message about equality, which this idea that men and women are the same when they are not. And so that gesture of holding the door open, I was just using as one example, is not men trying to oppress women. It's they want to please them, they want to take care of them, they want to show them honor, really. And we knew this in the past. Everybody knew this, and this has gotten completely lost in the last 40 years. You can see that in that telegram, how deeply that was felt and understood. And women today want that. You read that telegram, who would not want that, right?
Yeah,
but how are we going to get there if we, I mean, it's just,
Wendy,
we've got to get back to understanding.
Wendy, do you think if we're all, I've heard it said that we are created the same, I mean, we are both equally as important, but created differently in our needs and our wants.
Right.
Do you agree with that?
I agree with that to some extent, and as a wife and as a mother of 2 little boys, I believe that the strength of a woman is also what makes men respect us even more. We are not necessarily damsels in distress here. We can open doors for ourselves, we can do things for ourselves, and we welcome men to also open doors for us as well. But it's okay for a woman to be strong, it's okay for a woman to be independent. That in no way negates a man's masculinity at all.
All right, ladies, thank you.
I couldn't agree more.
Okay. Wendy, Suzanne, great to see you.
okay.
We'll just have to have you back. We'll continue the conversation later.
Okay.
Thanks, ladies.
Oh dear. Obviously, if you are overly independent and you want to do everything for yourself and you refuse help from men who are trying to show you that they care about you by helping you do things like open the door, just out of respect, then they are going to not want to do that for you if you keep refusing them, and if you keep trying to show them that you can do everything on your own, you don't need their help for anything, and you don't need a man. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from what she just said, which is sad because men want to do sweet things for us and we're just refusing. Well, I'm not, but women are refusing their help in anything, and it's causing them to not want to do it anymore. So one day, maybe, we're not going to have any men doing it at all, which is so sad. And yeah, very, very sad, guys. What do you think about that? I assume that most of you are men watching this. Do you do chivalrous things like holding the door open for women? I'd be curious to know. Are you a chivalrous man or not? Let me know. I'd like to see the stats on that. Okay, asking New York City, what is a woman? I'm very interested to hear this one. I love street interviews. I'm going to do some soon. Let me know what topics you'd want me to ask people about on the street. But yeah, let's watch this one. Asking New York City, what is a woman?
What's up, guys? It's me, Kareem Jovian. I'm here in New York City. Today, we're going to ask, what is a woman? What is a woman?
Oh, that's such a deep question.
Yeah.
What? No way did she just say that. Like, you'd think she was joking, but you know she's being serious. Oh my gosh, what is a woman? Oh, that's such a deep question.
I don't know how to answer that.
What is a woman?
In this particular case, the only definition that matters is somebody who is pregnant and has, and that's the only definition.
What is a woman?
What?
Can you define that?
I mean, I guess a woman is now there's a lot of gender fluidity. And so a woman is anybody that either defines as a woman or in the terms of biology, a female person that can carry a baby. But a woman is anybody who defines as a woman.
What is a woman?
Oh, now we get into a whole other thing. I mean, a woman is a person capable of giving birth to a baby, I would say. That would be my new definition in this day and age. So if you could actually deliver a baby in the emergency room, then in my opinion, you're probably a woman and you have the right to decide either way.
What is a woman?
Yeah, unless you're infertile. Then obviously it's not possible. But you're still a woman, I believe.
Like, defined, I think if somebody identifies as a woman, then they are a woman. I don't think there's any like biological or psychological determinants to what a woman can be. So.
Your definition of a woman.
A woman is a human being who is
other half of a man, that she can get impregnated by the man and have a baby. She's sort of like the main character in terms of birth and family.
What is a woman?
What is a woman? A woman is a helping hand to a man. A woman bring rest to a man. A woman is everything. It's a helping hand.
Aw, I think you took it a little bit too deep. It's a very simple answer. A woman is a female human being.
My answer. Yeah, a woman is everything. There you go.
I like that.
She's supposed to be.
Yeah, I'm going with that answer. I'm not gonna lie.
What's a woman?
To me, a woman is anyone who believes that they are God's most beautiful creature.
I like that.
What is a woman?
Yeah.
I'll say someone who could conceive children.
I'll say the same. Something along those lines.
What is a woman?
A human? I don't know. It's like it makes like so. What is a woman? I mean, a woman is exactly what a man is.
The other person over there, they gave this answer, and tell me what you think of it. A woman is someone who can give birth.
Oh my God, no. No. I mean, I'm not very good at like all the LGBTQ like rules, thing, non-binary, all that stuff. I'm not very good at it. I don't really know that well the subject, but I'm like sure 100% that a woman is not like someone that's giving birth.
What is a woman? In your definition of a woman.
A woman is someone who is maybe feminine, but I would say that really a woman is anybody that identifies as a woman is a woman in my eyes.
What is a woman in your point of view?
Beautiful, dynamic, beautiful, complicated, and like hopefully autonomous over her body and her decisions. She's awesome. This woman is awesome. Yeah.
Double that. Let's
Amazing.
double that.
All right. What is your definition of a woman?
My definition of a woman? My definition of a woman is anyone who defines themselves as a woman. I think if you're a trans person and you haven't got surgery or you didn't want to go that route and you still want to be, call yourself a woman, I think that's up to you.
Oh my goodness.
What is your definition of a woman?
Whoever feels as though she is one.
Oh my goodness. Come
What is
on.
your definition of a woman?
Woman, oh my gosh, just like power, beauty, grace, everything. I think women were often overlooked and kind of like the fact, just we bear everything on our shoulders and kind of often don't get enough credit for it. So yeah, women are just embodiments of strength.
What is a woman? Definition of a woman.
Oh my god, that's hard.
Why is it a hard answer?
I don't know. It's
Yeah, because it's more than just like the physique. I think it's beyond that. It's like all the mindset. So yeah, because there's trans and non-binary.
Type of mindset. What is it?
I don't even think she believed what she was saying. I think she just didn't want to offend anyone, and she wanted to just like lie to herself and to the audience and pretend that you can be a woman if you just decide you are. Even if you're a man, you can be a woman. It's so sad to see people forgetting to stick true to their values and their truth and pretend something is the case when it really isn't.
Definition of a woman.
Of a woman?
In your point of view.
I guess everything. Femininity, womanhood, masculinity at the same time. Like it's a lot of things at once.
Women are only who are able to give birth. What do you think about that?
Well, no, because there are people that identify as like a woman.
Come
right?
on.
I mean,
look, her man's ashamed. Look at his face. He's embarrassed to be stood next to her. Look, he's like, oh my goodness, I'm so disappointed. I don't blame you, hon.
it's hard. It's a hard question because I myself will never understand.
Look at his
like,
face.
you know, I was born a female and I use she, her pronouns, and I'm still learning about it.
What is your definition of a woman?
Of a woman?
Yes.
My definition of a woman, a powerful source of wisdom and energy.
What is your definition of a woman?
Of a woman?
Yeah.
Anyone that identifies as a female?
In your point of view, what is the definition of a woman?
A woman?
Yeah.
Someone that is a female person.
What is your definition of a woman?
My definition
One guy got it right. One guy.
of a woman, I think that's, I don't know, I think it's kind of complicated. Like, I'm queer myself, obviously, like, yeah, I don't know, that's kind of a hard question to answer. I think it's unique to everybody. Like, there definitely can be women, you know, like sex and gender are two different things. So yeah, it's definitely kind of a complicated thing, and I think it's case by case. I don't know if that makes sense, but
No, it makes absolute sense.
It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. You were right. It doesn't make sense. Guys, this is so sad. I actually feel so sad. There is a limit to the amount of videos like these that I can watch before my brain starts getting frazzled and I start losing faith in humanity. So I think I might stop there. Thanks so much for tuning in though, guys. You have been great as usual. I'm going to answer your last comments. So exactly. Yep, XY chromosomes, peeps. Exactly, agreed. I am not a biologist, but I understand. Exactly. Neither am I, but I don't think you need to be to understand logic and simple things that everyone just should inherently know. Shane Nolan says, I'm chivalrous or a gentleman. It's how I was raised. Good. Good. I love that. I think that we need to carry on raising our male humans to be chivalrous towards women, because hopefully it might bring some femininity back in women, because right now they are turning into men and it's sad to see. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and for watching till the end. There are some of you that have been watching all the way through, so thank you so much for that. That's really encouraging for me, and I'm going to carry on doing these lives because you clearly enjoy them. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this, and I will see you in